So Canadian Prepper has requested my expertise on a few matters related to everyday carry. Some of you know I'm an expert in prepping, survival, and the apocalypse that has yet to come. I have very little real-world experience besides running from the IRS for many years, living like some backwoods shut-in in the middle of nowhere. And it ain't none of your goddamn business where, let me tell you that. So let's get on and see what this boy has to say about everyday carry. Some kind of jazz music going on. I don't approve of that. Starting to sound like a heathen already.
Today I'd like to do a video featuring my updated EDC. EDC stands for Everyday Carry. It's the items that you carry in your pocket from a day-to-day basis.
Sounded more like everyday communist to me.
You know that I categorize my EDC items based off of various tiers.
You need to categorize nothing. Categorize this.
Tier 3, Tier 1 are all the basic items, and then it moves on from there. So
even all your tiers. Look, there's going to be a whole lot of tiers in the apocalypse, I can tell you that. Drawing some kind of fancy diagram or something.
Everyday carry, even if they don't even consider themselves to be a prepper. And those items include a wallet.
Never mind those people, they're going to die.
Keys, and a watch.
Okay, now hold on a second here. So far, we're about a minute into the video, and this is looking more like a goddamn Gucci Giorgio Armani ad or something. When are we going to bring out the guns, son? Come on now.
I recently did a dedicated video on this wallet, which I kind of consider to be a mini kit in itself.
Now listen, son, here's your first problem. You're carrying around a wallet. I can tell you what you're really carrying around a bunch of toilet paper, because that's what your money's going to be worth when the shit hits the fan. I can tell you right now, you better switch out that wallet with a trusty big bag of gold and silver coins. I know in 99.9% of situations, it might not be practical or realistic or sensible. You run the risk of getting robbed and losing thousands and thousands of dollars worth of precious metals. But that's just a risk you're going to take if you want to be prepared 24/7 for the end all of all days.
I've been using the access denied men's RFID.
Access denied is right. Access denied when you come to my bunker.
Zebra SL F1 mini ballpoint.
You gotta be kidding me.
Also some post-it sticky notes.
What are you gonna write
stamps,
messages to yourself?
A SanDisk Ultra
Send marauders love letters as they're stomping you out?
Adapter. The pocket
microprocessors. Alright, hold on a second now. Now this looks like something I can get behind. It's shiny. It's metal. It's got some sharp edges. Looks kind of cool. I think I approve this one.
They also include Band-Aid Advanced Heat.
Come on now, you ain't need none of that. Now here's my philosophy for first aid. First aid is for pussies. For me, carrying extra ammo instead of first aid is kind of like pulling the goalie. You get a much better chance of scoring a goal if you pull that goalie out and put another man on the ice. Same thing with ammunition. Sure, you have absolutely no security net and safety net if the inevitable happens whatsoever, but you get to shoot stuff longer. Listen, when you're in a gunfight, everybody knows it's always one way and you always win and you always come out unscathed. Come on now. It's just like the movies. I ain't seen a gun yet, so I think you're probably gonna die. Oh, here we go with Mr. Inspector Gadget and his computers, his fancy little computers. You're gonna need a phone to call the police when you're getting your ass beat down.
I'm always trying to slim down my keychain to help avoid having the dreaded prepper bulge. But here are the items that I currently have.
Hold the phone a second. Hold on. Now, what am I watching here? So far, it's been a Gucci ad. He showed me his bank card and some microprocessors. And now he's talking about his bulge. Now listen, Mr. Urban Prepper. I'm a God-fearing man. And I somewhat take offense to your inappropriate language. Perhaps you can keep the video a bit more G-rated. We don't need to learn about your bulge. There might be virgin ears. There might be ladies listening. So you gotta start, controlling yourself. I think you need to go and have a little talk with Pastor Joe Fox. Cleanse your spirit a little bit. I don't know what's up with these Hollywood boys always talking freaky.
Primary item of my keychain is the Tech Accessories P7 suspension clip. There's also
the primary item is a suspension clip.
What this particular tool does, it allows the keychain to hang while it's sitting in your pocket.
Yeah, somebody gonna be hanging all right. More computers, more gadgets, Mr. Inspector Gadget. In an electromagnetic pulse, I don't know what you're gonna do with your life. Now you gotta be kidding me. You got a rape whistle on your keychain. Here we go, Mr. Giorgio Armani modeling off all his jewelry. The only use for something like that is trade and barter when the shit come hit the fan. Might get yourself a couple cans of beans, maybe a couple bullets.
And the Fitbit provides a lot of...
You don't need fitness. How many times have I got to tell you? This is all you need. This is fitness. What you want to do is get as fat as you possibly can. Store as much body fat so that when the shit hits the fan and you're stuck out in traffic and you got to walk home, that you got enough energy built on your body to get there. We done 5 minutes in the video and I ain't seen one weapon yet.
Back right pocket of my pants, I store my...
Now this boy's talking about his pants again. He's modeling off all his Gucci and Tommy Hilfiger. Alright, let's talk about more of your tears, son. Let's talk about it. Alright, here we got some steel now. We got some steel. This is looking better. It's looking better. See what you got, boy. Okay, now hold the phone. Now, here's the first problem I see here. I know you're going for this practical thing where you want to be part of this whole gray man, spaceman movement. But I can tell you the first problem is that each one of these items is smaller than your pointer finger. Now, contrary to Mr. Fancy Pants, Urban Prepper Boy there, my EDC philosophy of a knife is a little bit different. You see, there's going to be a lot of people out there who have knives. My strategy is to have the biggest possible knife, period, that I can carry without getting tackled by the police. Your knife should be for the sole purpose of getting in a knife fight with many armed men, because this is something which is very likely to happen on a regular basis, even though I never leave the house. When building an EDC, you should assume that every human being alive wants to kill you and wants your stuff. For that reason, the knife you should pick should be multi-purpose, meaning that you should be able to kill different types of people. The bigger the knife, the more versatile it's going to be in cutting many different types of people. That's why I suggest a big knife. Doesn't matter who it's made by or the build quality, as long as it's big, shiny, sharp, it's got a nice pointy edge. Just like this one here. Plus this one here has got some paracord on there in case you need to string somebody up.
If you happen to live in a country or state that allows you to have a concealed carry weapon, I would consider it part of Tier 2. After all, it's just another tool.
What did he say?
Just another tool. Just another tool. Just another tool. Just another tool.
Just another tool? If you live in a country, listen, there's only one country you should be in, and that's the mighty United States of America. God bless America and praise Jesus. I can tell you right now that a gun is more than just a tool. A gun is your EDC. Now look, there's some people out there who say you shouldn't conceal carry. Hell, some of these little ballerinas say you shouldn't carry at all, believe it or not. I heard that Canadian prepper say once, and may God have mercy on his Mexican transgender soul. What's that?
He's not transgendered or Mexican.
He ain't a Mexican?
We're positive.
He ain't transgendered?
Nope, there's no proof of that.
Because nobody can disprove to me that he ain't part of the Mexican transgendered occult Islamo-fascist globalist elite, I'm just going to have to assume that he's a threat to my family. As I was saying, this little snowflake was talking about all about how, I can't conceal carry because it's illegal in my country. Let me tell you something. If you're going to let something like a little law get in the way of protecting yourself and your family, but mostly yourself, because that's who you should care about most, then you're pretty much as good as dead. Hell, I don't even know how that Canadian fella can even call himself Canadian Prepper. He might as well just call himself Canadian. And he sure don't look Canadian to me. Hell, might as well rename his YouTube channel Scumbag. So my advice to you is that 24/7, wherever you go, you should carry yourself a loaded shotgun. 5 in the tube, 1 in the chamber, safety off, ready to fire. Now I hear what you urban pretty boys are saying already. It's going to be a safety hazard for the children. Well, that's just going to be a risk your pretty ass going to have to take if you want to survive the apocalypse. Nobody said prepping was easy. There might be some collateral damage. You're going to have to train your kids to watch out for where that muzzle's pointing. Hi folks, Canadian Prepper. So I want to thank you for watching. I want to say thanks to my guest, the all-knowing expert of all things prepping and survival, the all-American prepper. He's agreed to come back to continue the series for part 2, and I also want to encourage you to go and subscribe to the Urban Preppers channel. Let's help him get to 100,000 subscribers. There's probably no prepper on YouTube who has put in as much work as this guy and who is as deserving of that 6K subscriber milestone than Cliff at the Urban Prepper, who is a friend of mine. He's also been a good enough sport to allow me to bring some levity to the preposphere in these tumultuous times. Don't forget you can show your support to this channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, stay tuned for part 2. If you don't come back, I'm sicking the all-American prepper on you. I gotta mention for legal purposes that the gun in the video was unloaded. Obviously, you don't want to take the American prepper seriously. You have to make these disclaimers on these videos nowadays because there are some people, believe it or not, who struggle to separate entertainment from reality. So for those of you who do, keep your guns unloaded, keep them in a safe place away from children, and abide by all the laws in the country that you live in. Have a good time.